Hi guys, let me tell you what happened. Flow dropped my internet. They disconnected me. Flow disconnected me. Because there is no reason for my internet to be disconnected. So while we're doing the live, they disconnected me. And all my other neighbors have internet. So why is only my internet that is dropped? And then Flow wants to do not want me to talk about it. I will talk about it. Because look, I came to Flow and I asked Flow for the highest package. So it is deliberate, and the shareholders in Miami, the people in Miami, you need to come down to St. Lucia and y'all need to call me because I am streaming with your best package. Right? I am streaming with your best package. Okay, so I really need to know what Flow is doing. Yes, let me tell you, because we're here, my producer looked at me and he said everything went yellow from red. And our modem, our box just went off. So it's a deliberate attack. So the people from Miami that do not want me to talk, I need you to call me tomorrow. The shareholders, the managers, the whatever. I need y'all to call so. I need y'all to call me because let me tell you, I will not be bullied and I will not be threatened by Flow. I am a customer. And I have your highest package. Why are you cutting me off? Because let me tell you, they did it so, they just cut my internet off. They cut my internet off, people. That's what they did. And y'all do not want me to talk? Let me tell you, when we do our show, we send it through another channel, so we do not have all the pressure of the show. They just cut us, and they do it nastily and deliberately. Flo, you cannot sue me, you cannot do me anything because I'm a customer. I am here streaming. I have streamed for a very long time on this, and all of a sudden, my show is being cut off. And Flo is worried about losing customers because of what I'm saying, but you're doing shit. You're cutting my life. You dropped my life. When we came on, we had 29, 30 megabytes upload, and you're deliberately cutting my life. But it will go on. I am going to continue from what I was saying about Stephen King. Exactly, Ashley. Who is the real master now? Nobody can sue me because I'm very smart and very savvy in what I say. I am a customer. I am here doing a live, right? Hall Spark in New York is doing lives just like me, and his show doesn't cut off. He's a star, he's a comedian, and he has political shows like me, and he's doing it from his office at his home, and his shows does not cut off. Flo, you are shit. You disconnected my internet, you dropped it for no apparent reason, and now it is back on. St. Lucia, I am telling y'all, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. Because the more you cut me off, Flo, the more people you're afraid of losing customers. Now you're going to lose customers. There is no issue in my area. I'm in an area where we always have internet, no issues, nothing. But because I'm speaking against this government, my internet is being cut. I'm a customer. I am a customer, Flo. Exactly. As a matter of fact, Valis Eloyd, I should be suing Flo for disrupting my life like that. I'm paying them $160 every month for the highest package, and you cut me off. But I am going to continue, people. Yes. Flo behaving just like Stephen King. And I want your people from Miami to call me. Who y'all going to sue? I not going to sue y'all for dropping my internet because I'm paying for a service. We need more radical people like so. Anyway, my people, let's get back to snake oil. Let's go back to snake oil. So this man said that he changed his ways to be patriotic because Alan Chasney is not a good leader. He had issues with Alan Chasney and his government. So Snake Oil decided that he would leave the party and go on his own. But you saw his behavior. You saw his behavior, how he treated Alan Chasney in the house. This is why the crime situation in our country has escalated. The criminals believe they have a right to shoot at police officers and to kill them, because look at the behavior of Stephenson King in the House of Parliament when he was talking to Alan Chasney. Stephenson King, you behave like a husband some woman was married to, and because things went bad, go and tell everybody the woman's secret. I'm not saying Alan Chasney was holding secret for him, but you were once in bed with Alan Chasney. You were once in bed with the United Workers' Party, and now the brilliant people looking at you right now, they are not going to trust you. And I'm betting my bottom dollar, if you and Philip J. Pierre dare call a next election, you people are going to lose. Alan Chasney was there, and he allowed freedom of association. He allowed freedom of expression. Alan Chasney was called a massa. Who is the massa now? Who is the massa now? I cannot even do my life in peace. Stephenson King, Sky FM, you all said to them to go. You all said to them to go. But you know, I am a citizen on a platform, right, that gives me the opportunity to do a show to the highest level and bring information to the people. Stephenson King, instead of shutting down Sky, why don't you tell Flo, stop playing with my internet when I am on my live? And like Valdez said, I should sue Flo, because the truth must come out. Christine, St. Lucia is not a place you want to be right now. This government is not a government that any St. Lucian would want to be under. So you said you were moving away from Alan Chasney, but you went at him. You, the criminals are outside watching you, Stephenson King. You and your behavior, instead of saying, well, I don't agree with Alan Chasney again, I have moved on. You know, no love lost, but you know, I believe that I can make a better contribution with the St. Lucia Labour Party instead of United Workers' Party and Alan Chasney. And people will respect you, but you had a go at him. So the criminals, instead of solving issues or going to work, you know what they do? They try to rob and kill hard-working people. 2 officers shot. But you and your gang want to worry about Alan Chasney. From the time you all came into office, it has been Alan Chasney, Alan Chasney. Let us continue with the video.
Chants of the Beach's Mine by Barbadian soca artist Gabi echoed throughout the Casaba beach on Sunday.
Beach is mine, I could pay it anytime. It's not what you say, I could pay it anyway. Beach is mine, I could pay it anyway.
Scores of St. Lucians descended on Marjorie's Beach restaurant to patronize the establishment as the beloved proprietor seeks to build a defense fund. Some bearing placards to protest the loss of natural habitat and heritage. Marjorie Lambert has no plans on relocating in the face of the Cabot St. Lucia golf course development in the environmentally sensitive area. Some have expressed disappointment over the government's decision to list the Queen's Chain for 75 years to investors. Dr. Stephen King has called on the government to reconsider.
It's a beautiful day. I'm here to support Marjorie.
You're here to support Marjorie?
I'm here to say that the Queen's Chain should not be leased. I don't believe in releasing Queen's Chain, and I think the model of development, Richard, this model of development is not the right model for us.
Right.
So I really think that we must rethink.
Others voiced objections to what they fear will be restricted access to the beach by locals.
Chasnet cannot have say on Casamance.
I agree.
The beach is ours and it belongs to us.
A number of well-known individuals, including the likes of talk show host Christopher Hunt, SLP hopeful for Grosile Kenson Baby Casimir, and educator Virginia Poyet were also in attendance. Chair of the National Trust, Alison King, advises against such beachfront projects.
I have only been here for the last 3 years, as I say, so it's during this administration. But there have been historically times when the National Trust has acted very strongly against development that they see is inappropriate. So the parody, for instance, is one that you keep hearing about, jealousy. So yeah, Trust has been very active.
But the police would attempt to shut down the celebration and request that the music be turned off.
I have been asked to stop the music. We can no longer stay here and patronize the bar. We can do nothing. We cannot do anything because we have no permission. We live in a country where we can have a state of emergency and the Prime Minister can go on vacation, but we cannot patronize a bar. We will shut off the music and we are finished right now.
Despite numerous pleas for patrons and protesters to leave, they refused.
Yeah, officer, you can't tell me leave the beach if I break no rules. You will tell me stop the music.
We are not going! We are not
The crowd continued with chants of dissatisfaction with the current government. The police warned that there was no permit for the loudspeakers. Former Superintendent of Police says there was no civil disobedience. Authorities indicated that the event could continue if the music was turned off, but some remained defiant until the crowd in the end faded. The ban on mass crowd events of more than 200 persons remains in effect under the state of emergency. Authorities stress that organizers of gatherings must request permission from the police commissioner to host such events. But the patrons were determined to exercise what they believe was the right to protest. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.
Now, my people, Alan Chasney, you remember I always say God is in control. Let the devil try what he's doing. Remember I always say God is in control. They said Uncle Alan Chasney was a massa. However, if he was a massa, many of y'all on that beach would have been arrested. Y'all did what y'all want. Labour Party and their supporters are a set of disobedient people. They are a set of disobedient people. And when people like me, Sky FM, even Timothy Polio, when he has his show, his live stream is miserable. So they are trying to silence us, but Alan Chasney never did that. Y'all were on all television stations, bringing him down, bringing disrepute to the man, saying all manner of evil against him. He never tried to shut y'all down. He never asked anybody to interfere with your internet connection speed. He never did that. He allowed y'all, and this is why y'all won, because he allowed y'all to spew the filth and the lies and the deceit, and I commend him for that now, because right now people like me, honest, hard-working people like me, have to deal with companies behaving like that. We have to deal with companies behaving like that. We, right now, who do not support this government cannot speak. But Alan Chasney, that's why you'll have to go and buy the coffee, because I am coming down hard on them. Because Alan Chasney led with honesty and integrity. Uncle Shas was one of the best prime ministers, and I respect this gentleman so much now because everybody who spoke against him, he never interfered with their life. Did you ever see Can I Help You live stick? Did you ever see Zafenu live stick? Did you ever see Christopher Hunt live stick? Did you ever see Treasure Hunt live stick? No, Uncle Shas was about the people business, while instead of y'all minding the people business, y'all are after honest, hard-working St. Lucians from speaking. It is our country. Who the hell y'all think y'all are to tell us not to speak? Who do y'all think y'all are to tell us that we cannot talk? This country is disgusting. Look at all of them on the beach. What happened to all of them that were protesting? Dr. Stephen, Allison, and all the gang. Where are y'all now? Marjorie signed the same deal that was being given to her. Where are y'all now? Everybody is in hiding. Everybody is so political. So this is why. Let me tell you what they wanted. They wanted to win the election, but they didn't know God had arisen a Soraya Alexander. They had no idea God had arisen me. So right now, it is too much. It is too much, and let me tell you, they have their people at play. Because the government cannot come behind me because I don't need no license to do what I'm doing there. So obviously, interfere with her bandwidth. Is me to sue Flo for doing that? Is me to sue y'all? Alan Shasney was a good man. Carry on.
At about 4:45 p.m. Friday last week, officers were on patrol and noticed 5 female and 3 male students aimlessly hanging out in the vicinity of the William Peter Boulevard. When officers approached the students and asked them to leave, they did not. St. Lucia Police says it's an offense to loiter in public places, and as a result, the students were escorted to the police headquarters until their parents came for them. A stern warning was issued to both parents and students.
2 weeks ago, the department wrote to 16 schools in and around the Castres Basin, requesting that they inform students that the police will not tolerate the loitering of school students after school within the city and its environs.
Mr. King says officers will be conducting frequent checks, especially on a Friday when they say there is a huge problem of loitering. Mr. King cited places such as the Blue Coral Mall, where students, he says, loiter in huge crowds and engage in the consumption of alcohol.
What I believe parents should do, and I'm sending out a message to parents and guardians, that they should inform the children that they should head home or proceed home immediately after school, because some of the times these children find themselves involved in criminal activity, and sometimes they could be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I encourage them to take charge. That's what the parents and guardians are supposed to do. They are supposed to take charge to ensure that the children head home or proceed home immediately after school.
Several months ago, education authorities had announced plans for a student curfew, which became the focus of a massive debate. Reporting for the DBS News World, I am Cecil Actil.
Now, here are those students. Look at how they are behaving. And we want to tell them, don't drink alcohol, go home, do not loiter. But look at the men and women seated at the highest office, Parliament of St. Lucia. Look at how they behave. Have you ever seen Alan Shasney behave in the way Stephenson King behaving? The St. Lucia Labour Party government have a lot of hatred in their hearts. So this is spreading throughout the country. It is a very simple logic. If you are a family and you are giving love to your children will go out there and give love. But look at Stephenson King, Philip J. Pierre, Ernest Hilaire, all of them. Look at them in the House of Parliament. Look at the anger. Look at the rage. Look at, the jealousy. I want to get Alan Shasney. The young people are saying, y'all are behaving so badly in the House of Parliament and y'all expect us not to drink a little alcohol and not to loiter. They are watching your behavior. And this is why y'all are going to cut me off, because when I come here, I do not lie. I come to speak truth, and I'm showing the truth for y'all to see. carry on.
We are here at the site of the burglary in Barbono on Friday, where store owner Geneva Louise says she is happy to escape with her life after the incident. She gave her account of the altercation.
I went by the market to purchase some goods for my business. When I get back to my establishment, somebody came to purchase saltfish. Well, my cousin, of course. Whilst I'm getting change for him, I went outside in the vehicle to get the change. Two guys passed me and walked in. I collected the change, went back in. They asked me for a pack of cigarettes. I took it. He then asked for a bottle of water and a juice. I did take that as well. He paid me with $20. When I bent down my head to get change for him, he came behind the cash, put the gun to my head, asked me for the money, and then the other one that was there went and closed the door, whilst the third one that was on the vehicle came in and hold my cousin, beat him up, the two of them, slam him on the tile, and move out with about 2 sacks of drinks from my wholesale.
The bandits made off with several bottles of alcohol and a few grocery items. Louise reveals that a cousin who suffered injuries as a result of his defiance of the bandits is doing well and is in a stable condition after receiving 7 stitches to the head. The store owner says she immediately called the Barbono police station after the robbery. Officers gave chase but to no avail. Louise admits that her multiple run-ins with bandits in the past have gained her valuable experience in dealing with these situations.
Whilst it was happening, I was kind of shaken up because that is not the first time that have been happening to me. That is the third time, actually. I was traumatized at the time, but for now I'm good.
All right, cool. And the police has been to the establishment?
The police came right after. As soon as the guys left, I took my phone, called the Barbono police. They saw the guys on the way. They chased after them, but they didn't get them. And right after that, they came to the place.
The store owner says she is left bewildered as to what can be done to quell the instances of crime and violence. She fears that there is no end in sight, particularly since the Christmas season is around the corner, a time when criminal activity typically increases.
I think for years now, if there was something anybody could do to prevent crime, they would have done it by now. But preventing crime is not something that happens easy, because so many of these young people not working, they're depending on people to leech on. So it is so difficult to prevent crime. That is something that will happen. It happened to me today. Later on tonight, it will happen to somebody else. But we cannot prevent it. No matter all the security we put, there would be a police officer, and they would hold him at gunpoint and do what they have to do. These things happen to each and every one of us when the time comes for it to happen.
Louise maintains that despite the incident, she is still in good spirits and thankful for life. She says she is looking forward to going about her business as usual. For the DBS News World, I am Jason Darius.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be back.
Instead of worrying with Alan Chasney, instead of shutting down Sky FM, instead of hacking my internet, cut it completely, disconnect me, this is what you all have to deal with, the crime situation in our country. Have you heard Philip J. Pierre said anything substantial concerning crime? He actually put the blame on the police officers that they need to do more. Have you heard Philip J. Pierre said anything substantial? St. Lucians, your ass is grass. I am any St. Lucians not living in St. Lucia, y'all are blessed, because all of us catching our asses right now. Because look at what we have to go through. This country is like a communist country. This country is like a communist country. Look at what is happening in our country, and what is Philip J. Pierre doing? His agenda, Alan Chasney, Alan Chasney, Alan Chasney, and people are dying. 2 police officers lost their lives. What are you doing? What are you doing, Philip J. Pierre? Indisciplined member of parliament, cursing people, saying all kind of things. Y'all behave like a bunch of rats in governing our country. Our country is in a mess. Y'all are going to cause an uprising in this country, and at this juncture, we do not need that. Carry on.
As usual. For the DBS News World, I am Jason Darius.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be back.
Listen to a minister of government. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be back. You whatever he said. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be back. And then obscenities after it. This country, many of us are going to perish because we do not have good leadership. Kenny Anthony, get up from your laurel and start speaking, because what is going on with your government, you not in this government, is causing harm to many St. Lucians. If I am here and I'm telling you, if in 7 days I reach 1.1 million people, the world is hearing Soraya. And I'm telling you all, if you'll continue affecting a businesswoman like me, and Sky FM and Timothy Polio show, y'all just cut his show off like that, investors are not going to come to St. Lucia. Y'all are behaving like Putin, the Russian president. Y'all are behaving just like him. Our country is in dire straits. This is why criminals, Laje Gwakod, they're going about and kill anybody, ambushing you, killing you, because the government itself do not have any behavior. Carry on.
I'll be back. No, Alva.
Member for Library?
No, Alva.
Member for Castry Central?
What you have done on your life for? I told you you could come in that.
Member for Castries, you need a podium? Or the lectern, sorry, you need a lectern? Yes. Okay.
That's why we are collective to do one thing. No. You need to understand. I spoke to you.
Multiple individuals.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. What happened there, sir? Hold on. Richie, don't push me. Don't try it. Don't try it.
Despite being questioned several times, the individual identified as
Romail Bihari is offering a $500 reward for information which could lead to the recovery of his stolen calf. The young brown cow was stolen from its grazing ground at Bois d'Orge on Monday.
I went to check on my cow on Monday morning at Bois d'Orge. Reaching there, seen the mother cow crying and not seeing the little one. I looked all around, all in the pasture, and I couldn't find the little one. So I went to the police to make a report at Groseley. And then I came back down, changed the mother around, tied, give it water, and then I came back home.
According to Bihari, this is not the first time one of his bovine animals had been stolen, and with this recent theft, he is left with only one, the stolen calf's mother.
I lose one cow, that same Vadawanch by Rasco, last year. I lose one cow, and this year is the second cow I've been losing. I'm willing to pay $500 so anybody could identify the cow or make me know where the cow is. I'm willing to pay $500 cash to anybody that could make me get back my cow.
As luck would have it, the theft occurred 2 days before a vet was scheduled to tag the animals, which would help in easily identifying them as his. In light of this, Bihari has called on other cattle farmers who have not done so to get their animals tagged, which would lessen the chances of them becoming a victim of predial larceny. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
According to Mr. Frederick, Dr. Anthony from his past records has demonstrated an inability to be accountable and should therefore not be given another opportunity to govern the island. He says Dr. Anthony's leaderships and capabilities are also being questioned by Labour Party supporters.
One of the strongest supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party, who lives in Atlanta, Tony Nicholas, once told Kenny Anthony, "You are not fit for office." Nicholas Joseph, I stand corrected. 2 weeks ago, he wrote another article and he said to Kenny, "You should have done the honorable thing about after 2006, resign." He went on to say it is not too late. But he said, when it comes to corruption, he says nothing about that in relation to Kenny Anthony. But when it comes to mismanagement, put Kenny Anthony on the top shelf.
Mr. Frederick also took a swipe at the opposition leader for his style of management.
I'll tell you this, Dr. Kenny Anthony. As I said, when it comes to Stephenson King, he's a man. You, Dr. Kenny Anthony, you are a pathological, compulsive, blatant liar, deceiver. Kenny, tonight I call you a categorical, compulsive, pathetic, categorical liar. Kenny, you are a mighty deceiver. You have deceived the House on more than one occasion. And I'll not tell you, take me to court. I'm no master. Do as you please.
The Housing and Urban Renewal Minister expressed curiosity at several issues.
Kenny Anthony fired 3 senators. Not because they oppose him, because they simply requested more information. You fired them, Kenny, didn't you? But tell us, how come Earl Huntley disposed of the government property in New York and he said in court that you did not know and you didn't fire him? Is it because he said you asked him to keep Greenberg a secret? Do you all have other secrets?
Mr. Frederick and Dr. Anthony are arch political rivals. Reporting for the DBS News World, I am Cecil Actel.
You hear him now? Now, Philip J. Pierre is the best leader. I can work with him. Both him and Stephenson King, they are saying that now. Oh, he's the best leader. I can work with him now. He is good. But listen to how Kenny Anthony, in my eyes, was a better leader because Philip J. Pierre, you know what he's doing, a better prime minister than Philip J. Pierre. Right now, you want to kiss Philip J. Pierre, you can work with him. Oh, I have to protect him. Let me ask you something, Richard Frederick. Is Philip J. Pierre wearing Pampers or depends? You have to protect him. Huh? You don't want him to pee on him? He just started peeing on him because we just started raising hellfire on this government. You want to protect him? This man has basically killed our country in 7 months. Crime is off the chain. People do not have work. Health care is in a bloody mess. And you want to protect who? Philip J. Pierre? For what? Look at you. You hated. Kenny Anthony, mighty deceiver, liar. Listen to what you say about him. The only thing I really respect Kenny Anthony for not being in any cabinet with you, but Kenny Anthony, you need to get up your ass now and start talking, because what these people are doing is pure crap. When you're telling me, let me tell you what, you want to kiss Philip J. Pierre backside and telling him you have to put Depends on him, you have to make sure the Depends have powder on it, you have to make sure you have no rash, you have to make sure you have to cover him. Man, I never hear more nonsense like that. Oh, you have to cover Philip J. Pierre. My God, people, what is going on in this country? And Ashley's SLP must go now. And let me tell you why. Like I've always said, I do not care which party is in power as long as you govern my country properly. But this government is targeting people. They are targeting people. They are targeting people. And I saw, people are saying there are lives all over the place and it's not being cut because there is no freedom of speech. Y'all had Black Lives Matter match. Shasney never did y'all anything. He allowed y'all, Shasney allowed y'all to do a lot. And now this man want to come and tell us he have to put deep hands on Philip J. Pierre, make sure his bum well oil with Vaseline, no rash on it. We have to cover him. Man, get the hell out of here. Continue.
Prime Minister Philip Joseph Pierre will not be attending CARICOM's 33rd Heads of Government Intersessional Meeting slated for Belize from March 1st to the 2nd. The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Alva Baptiste, will attend in his stead. Pierre says he is staying home to deal with some of the pressing local issues.
A CARICOM meeting is happening as you speak. Tomorrow. And the reason why I'm not there, because I have many issues to deal with in St. Lucia. That's why I could not go. I did not go. Allow the foreign minister to represent St. Lucia because I have some serious issues to deal with in St. Lucia this time.
So, what specifically is weighing so heavily on the mind of the Prime Minister to have him grounded in St. Lucia at this time?
There is the crime situation, there is the budget, there is the situation regarding, as you said, the effect of the crisis in Ukraine, many issues which deal with St. Lucia. So I choose not to travel and stay home, deal with internal issues.
The Russian invasion of Ukraine is deeply worrying for the world's leaders, with the situation moving at a faster than expected rate and unfolding in a way few experts predicted. The Russian invaders are suffering some serious setbacks in Ukraine, while the Western powers are piling on the pressure on the Russian regime with embargoes, sanctions, and divestments. The fear is all of this will further disrupt the international supply chain and impact both the availability and price of food and fuel. Prime Minister Pierre says the situation vindicates his much maligned recommendation for St. Lucians to eat more of what they grow and grow more of what they eat.
My position on the consumption of local food and to improve our food security is coming to play now. But I hope that there is not too much disruption as far as that's concerned.
Prime Minister Pierre once again condemned the Russian invasion and repeated his call for the situation to be resolved through discussion. Stanley Lucian for the HGS News Force.
Now I have a good relationship with Champagne, and I spoke to Champagne earlier today, but I'm seeing some of you, because I usually liaise with him. Okay, all right. Yes, Ashley, you confirmed what I was saying. Yes, they're not back on air. You can have a TV station, people, if you don't know, on the internet. You can do so many things on the internet as long as you market your business properly, you get good equipment, and this is why we know what Flo is doing. That's why my producer saw my lights went yellow, right? When you have good equipment. So I am not just sitting here and just talking without having the necessary gadgets to tell me what's happening. So Sky FM is not back on the air, people. Sky FM will be on the internet, and let us keep supporting them because I am all for justice. And somebody sent me something. I'll tell you what they said. And be careful. Be very careful wishing bad for people. You see this government, all of them can go. Bunch of rubbish breed. Be careful what you wish for people. Because if I'm a St. Lucian, let's say it was HTS, they had issues with HTS and they want to shut HTS down or whatever, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't support that. HTS is a local company. Try to work it out internally with HTS. And people are gloating and they have a flyer going about, why can't Sky FM produce their license and registration? Now, this is how they fooled the people of St. Lucia, and they went and vote, beating pans, and up to now they cannot get the $1,500. Sky FM producing their license and registration, this has nothing to do with the picture. It's the behind scenes of the nastiness that is happening. I am ashamed to be a St. Lucian right now, because all overseas people have nothing good to say about us. Well, you know what they're saying? A small country like yours, 180,000 people, your GDP is almost nothing, and you're all fighting each other down like that. You know, somebody wants to start a station, or somebody wants to start a business, or somebody's doing a program like yours, and your internet is just being disrupted like that. What kind of nastiness is that? So to be gloating about Sky FM is shutting down, you are laughing at your brother and sister. And now let me tell you what they're saying. They're saying we're supporting illegality. We are not doing that. There was a process. And when you have a leader that is full of hate, you see Philip J. Pierre that come in and tell you all he love and everything, don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. Because I always say, when you have love in your heart, sometimes you will surrender. You will yield and say, okay, for the good of the country, let us work with them. As I have always said to you all, if I sit on any board, right, it could be United Workers' Party supporter or an SLP supporter bringing in information, and I have the authority to give them the license or whatever, and they are not, in tune with what they have to do, I will guide them. But I will not make it a deliberate thing to say I am on TV, or you don't have this, you don't have that. This is a wicked government. Continue.
Violent crime on the island, which has resulted in 8 homicides in just over the span of a week. The startling death toll has taken the overall homicide rate to 55 for 2020, with just 1 day before the end of the year. 2017, with 60 confirmed homicides, remains the deadliest year on record in St. Lucia. The count for 2020 is the second highest tally in the nation's history.
It is very concerning. It's very concerning and not very good news at all. There is nothing to rejoice about. First of all, I would like to express my condolences to the people who lost their lives, the victims who lost their lives. It's tragic to lose your life under these circumstances, even more tragic than normally. Also, for the people who are accused of committing these crimes, I hope that justice is swift and justice be served. It's a very unfortunate circumstance that our history must be broken in that way.
Pierre hinted at the need for elected and public officials to moderate on the tone of the rhetoric, not just on crime, warning of the power of the spoken word on the public psyche.
But it's time for us to reflect on what we say as leaders, on what we say in the pursuit of political office. It is time that we understand that sometimes in the heat, as leaders, we must exercise restraint in what we say, because people are listening to us and our words mean something.
Amid calls for a sound evidence-based public policy approach to crime management, Pierre believes there should be a more thoughtful articulation of thoughts in the push and pull of public discourse.
This is why it's very disconcerting when people at the highest level make statements that seem to create a level of hatred in the country. That seem to create a level of volatile behavior. And this is why I'm very concerned when we make statements that seem to be creating disharmony in the country.
While law enforcement officials report of a dramatic rise in most categories of crime, there has been a notable rise in the number of homicides. A gun attack at Sunbelt, which claimed the life of a 35-year-old laborer, bookended an 8-day period of 8 killings, which included a double homicide at Leslieland. The Christmas holiday period was also overshadowed by 3 murders. Colby DeVoe, HTS News Source.
All the time he's saying, the United Workers' Party, the things they're saying about crime, their behavior, their this, their that. You are there now, what are you doing? But let me tell you, until you take out, the Bible says the weeds and the tares must go together. But you have a lot of old bush in your party. This man, the house of God, as I tell people, the church is the people, but the sanctuary is where you go to worship, but the people are the church. If you, Philip J. Pierre, could not correct one of your now ministers who went into a house of God to behave like that, our country is doomed. Touch not the Lord's anointed. One of your ministers went into a church and his behavior was unbecoming. But all of y'all stood with him. The criminals saw that. And when the criminals are aware of what is going on, they will continue breaking into people's houses, drive-by shooting, drive-by killing, and kill the people of St. Lucia. It is a sad day in St. Lucia that anybody who speaks against this government, is going to be targeted. St. Lucians, what are y'all going to do about it? Are y'all going to be victimized? Everybody was in a frenzy marching against Chasney for what? Chasney let y'all march. He's cool, he's calm, he's collective. He let y'all go and march, and he continued his work. But he lost because you know what? The Bible speaks of itching ears, everything. Y'all want to hear, itching ears. And that's how some St. Lucians are, itching ear. They want the next gossip, they want the next roro. Instead of really sitting down and look at what is happening to y'all. Madrid get all that money. How many of y'all got anything from it? How many of y'all got money to buy food or groceries? How many of y'all got the $1,500? Crime is right in this government with their behavior. Ministers gone wild. And people are being targeted. And let me tell you, I will never support this government, and I'll tell you why. For a minister to write in a letter that he is expecting the new board to deal with Sky FM, it tells me there's a lot of vindictiveness. I feel sorry, young people. If you're going to start a business there, if you're not their friend, they don't know you, they don't want you. You're going to be kept at the bottom of the barrel. I don't ask anybody for anything. I'm doing my show. My bills are paid on time with Flo, and they disconnected me. They disconnected my life. And Flo, you want to come and tell me as a customer I'm not supposed to say what you're doing, but you're giving me a shitty service. Our country is under siege. My people, my heart is very, very heavy because we are under siege in this country by this wicked government. This is what y'all voted. Y'all voted for crap. Y'all voted for poop. Young people, they do not love y'all. To say youth economy, they do not love y'all. Doing business in this, imagine somebody from overseas wanting to do business with somebody in St. Lucia. They say, they're not doing it again. They'll go to Barbados. They'll go to St. Vincent. They'll go to Grenada. They'll go to Dominica where they welcome us. Imagine Ernest Hilaire and Stevenson King. Champagne, Dr. Secret, Prudent, my good little darling, ring the bell, right? Coach, Herod, your Tutsacho, all of them are bona fide Lucians, children of the soil. And my God, you are after them like this. Y'all prefer foreigners more than your own people. God is going to raise a standard against this government. I have said to y'all, I have no idea why I started doing this show. It must have been from God, because the strength I am getting to speak is from God. Because yes, I too am under attack. Cutting my life. Madwezot. But God is going to deal with this government. These people are ordinary people. The people at Sky FM are not bourgeois. They don't have title. They're not driving BMW. They're not driving the Audi. You understand? They're not living in the mega $1 million house. They're not drinking the, what they'll call it, Prokeso, Roreso, right? They're not drinking that. So they are nobodies, they are nothing. They're keeping their little barbecue on a Saturday to help them raise funds. They are nothing. We are kicking down people of the soul, and y'all put it on Alan Shastney. Y'all said Alan Shastney didn't like black people, and he was on. Who do not like black people? Who do not like black people? Philip J. Pear doesn't like black people. Ernest Hillel doesn't like black people. Richard Frederick doesn't like black people. Stephenson King doesn't like black people, because if y'all had loved black people, all the people that at Sky FM, they are black. Alan Shastney didn't like black people. He should have shut down Sky FM, but they were still there. God is going to deal with this government, and I'm very saddened. I'm saddened that our country has gotten to this nasty state. I am very saddened that people feel that, you are not even comfortable coming and do a live. And let me tell you, the biggers, the hires, the biggers, yes, they're doing everything they have to do to shut me up and shut other people up. But as I said on my platform, I'm telling you all again, I'm reaching 1.1 million people in 7 days, and people throughout the world are hearing what I am saying, and it's not looking good for this administration. So if y'all think you'll stop in Sky FM, the traffic I does get, I does see it, y'all won't see it, but I does see it. The traffic I does get, their eyes are on St. Lucia. Y'all are chasing away tourists. Y'all are chasing away investors from coming to our country. This country has gone mad. Crime has gone mad, because look at who is sitting in our cabinet. Tomorrow there is parliament. Look at the people sitting there. You think it's when you go and pass a domestic violence bill, everything is okay? Your behavior rots. Most of y'all are abusers. Most of y'all. And you want to go and pass domestic violence bill? My God, this country is in serious trouble. Serious trouble. And it is too obvious and it's too blatant flow that whenever I come to do my live and I'm hitting this government, my internet is disconnected. I should be suing you, because you're giving me a shitty service. And as I said to you, whole Spark is doing the same thing I'm doing. He set up everything in his home office. And his live never stick, no problem, nothing. He doesn't have no damn business package. I have the highest package, which was given to me for residential. But now, you cutting my life saying nonsense, and this never used to happen. We are living in a tormenting time. This government, they are tormentors. And I'm going to pray even harder that God will take y'all out and put people who can govern our country and love our country. This cannot be right. Excuse me, this cannot be right. And Stephenson King, you, that's the communication minister, you, and people, not only me, thousands of St. Lucians have been complaining about flow, but they do not want me to speak, because they're going to say, people going to leave y'all. If Digicel making sense and have a good package, they are going to get a lot of customers. Because I work with Digicel, and Dennis O'Brien would not allow anybody to cut anybody's life, because that man, when I worked with him, his philosophy was bent on customer service. His customers mean everything to him. Politics not in that. If you SLP or UWP, that is not in that. His people, his customers meant everything to him. And I'm telling y'all people, y'all better rise up. Continue supporting the show, because I may have to come on more often, because I spoke to Champagne, and based on what Champagne say, the letters were with the lawyer, and it is actually to tell them to cease and desist, get off the air. So in case that happened tomorrow where they are really off the air, I will have to come back more often to drop the leaks. And y'all will see what I am saying. If you see my internet is dropping, you know it's Flow dropping my internet. Who is dropping it? Who is dropping it? The cow on the hill? Huh? Who is dropping it? I agree with you, Marilyn. Prayer without works is dead. I totally agree with you. We got to pray but have action. We need to call for a re-election. We need to call for something. There is no moral, there is no integrity in this government. When a minister of government could come and say, a woman selling coffee for her to survive, I ain't selling drugs. I'm a professional. I am not selling drugs. Right? This is the kind, and y'all passing bill. Y'all should be ashamed. Y'all passing bill about domestic violence, and then you had a minister, Richard Frederick, come in and say all kind of manner of evil about me. When I sell coffee, nobody can come and arrest me. I'm not doing money laundering. I'm not selling drugs. I am clean as a whistle. And again, until you set your house straight with Richard Frederick, Joachim Henry, Wayne Girard, Ernest Hille, and a lot, until you set your house in order, St. Lucia will not prosper, because a nation cannot prosper when a government itself is corrupt. Y'all were calling Chasney corrupt, but y'all are the epitome of corruption. Now, my people, it is 10 o'clock, and based on what happens to Sky FM tomorrow, if they're not on, I am going to come and give this government some more licks. And Flo, I am a customer, and you deliberately cut my service every time. Why my other neighbors, none of their Wi-Fi is cut off? Why mine is being cut off? And you're talking about, so I can sue y'all for the shoddy, nasty service y'all are giving me. I want to wish you good night, and I will see you tomorrow if anything, and I love you all. Have a blessed night. Bye.